Tens of thousands of Hoosiers will swell with Indiana pride this weekend during the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, and in that crowd, a man who will likely stand out. As IT-Mate's Bennett Haberly explains, his aim is to point out one of Indiana's struggles. Bennett.
Lori, James Carr says an idea came to him in a dream after the death of his nephew. But at first glance, his efforts are more likely to cause nightmares.
A lot of people will open up to you about it, you know. I've heard so many stories. I've shed so many tears.
This is James Carr's declaration of war.
The ones that's on it, you know, they got to get themselves off of it. But if you can prevent somebody from ever starting it, it's a lot easier.
Yes, that's James. And despite what the sign says, it's less about a war and more about aware.
It's awareness.
The idea came to him in a dream. The red crosses outside his brother's Fountain Square church, along with the names of those who lost their battle to heroin.
Like all these on this side are deceased, and the ones on this side are prayer crosses.
James has also taken his efforts online, creating a Facebook group. It serves as a listening post for others in their struggles, but it's also where James posts pictures of himself at various Indianapolis intersections. And it's here that he brings the issue to life by posing as death.
I mean, it's crazy, man. It's sad, you know what I mean?
They're doing more than some people would do, trying to get the message out there about how meth and heroin is so bad in Indianapolis right now.
For James, it's personal.
I've got nephews and nieces on it. Lost one nephew. So, you know, and I've heard hundreds of stories. So it's just heartbreaking. So I can't bring myself to stop doing it. It's just in me now.
His efforts were initially controversial.
I had to take all the needles off of them because people were actually taking the needles thinking that, you know, they had syringes on them, and they didn't.
And there were those who initially doubted him, like his wife.
She looked at me like I was crazy.
But James remains steadfast and plans to hand out bracelets to Indy 500 goers, urging them to cross out heroin.
And that's what I'm out here for.
Yeah.
I want these kids to know. Maybe sometime in their future they start to do it, they remember the old Grim Reaper and not do it.
Last year, the Marion County Coroner's Office says 126 people lost their lives in Indianapolis to drug overdoses. That figure was down from 223 back in 2014, likely due in part to the increased use of antidotes like Narcan that are now used by first responders. James says it's hard to measure his success, but he adds he's satisfied knowing that he helped at least one or two people avoid the same grim reality. Bennett Haberly, 24 Hour News 8.